All right, good afternoon. As I was saying, my name is Rose Blossom. You're welcome to the buzz. We'll be talking about the state and affairs of the country. And of course, from my left, we have our regular guest is Mr. Nuruddin Adegbero. He's a senior journalist, he's a lecturer and a public analyst. Welcome to the show, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Our senior amiable, senior journalist. Welcome, sir. I'll say it again. And of course, I have Mr. Shegun Shokwiton. He's a business and financial consultant. He's a chairman of Boat Art Network. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, Nigerians. I was to be here.
Yes. It's good to have you too. And of course, thank you for joining us. Just keep it with us. We'll be here from 12 till 1. We're so sorry we're starting up quite late. Okay, the first one I want to talk about is the flooding. I don't want to read too much on it because I know definitely we've heard a lot about that. The UN have actually sought support, and Tinubu also said visited and he pledged some support to the victim or those who are victims of the flood. Let me use it that way. And we have a Gombe governor who has donated 100 million naira. That is Obaseki, and we also have Dangote, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who also donated 2 billion naira. We had Muhammadu Yahaya, who was represented by the deputy governor, presented a donation of 100 million naira, and Tiku also donated 100 million naira. A lot of people have been donating though, but some persons are reacting and stating that that at this point where they are flood victims and all of that, we're having Remi Tinubu coming out to say there is Ankara material for peace. What did she call it? Peace uniform. Despite that, people believe that it's something that she should at least have visited the children, the mothers, those who have probably lost their properties and all of that, instead of bringing out a uniform which a lot of people might not be able to afford at this point. And what is the need of even having that? But what's your reaction first?
Firstly, my mind really goes to the residents and of Petrol, particularly the Maiduguri. I'm not a fan of Zulu, Professor Zulu, the current governor of Borno State. The reason there is that last year I was in that state. The only area out of all the local government, the only 5 local government that you can say is edible, that is free from attack, are the Maiduguri and its environs. So if the most beautiful part of your state is being ravaged by floods in that particular manner, number of people died, a lot of property lost, businesses quenched. And it is not a natural disaster. We should get it. That flood, it is not. 5 days to that day, there was a warning.
Yes.
And there was money being voted to avert this. And I'm surprised that head has not rolled even since then. Then secondly is this. For those people donating for them, particularly those people that are not in government, I give kudos to them. Because when people are spending their personal money, I give them kudos. But those people that are politicians donating, well, they are also supporting people one way or the other. So I give them. Atiku donated, Dangote Foundation, even Obi also donated yesterday. Yeah. So it's good, at least from their personal pockets. It's good. But the one of the wife of the president, if Yoruba wants to say, when they are head to the brim, they will say, at this point in time, maybe she has a team that she has put on ground to visit Borno and donate food items, whatever, we don't know, as of today.
Yes.
But putting, and I believe the only uniform that I know that is a uniform of peace. Uniform of peace. There are just like 4 or 5 uniform of peace. The number 1 is equity. Number 2 is accountability. Sharing of the resources accordingly. Fighting poverty and freedom. Those are the attire for peace. But they are the clothing for peace. If you embrace all these 5 things, your environment will be peaceful. Because those are the clothing of peace. So I expect him to do more than this. I don't want to believe that she doesn't have a plan to visit Borno after her husband had visited Borno, and also put all the wife of the governors together, out of the money they got from their various husbands, put it together, maybe 500 million, whatever, and give it to the government of Borno. I think that maybe she's still thinking in that particular manner, but I don't want to believe that the priority now, we are a lot of countries, United Arab Emirates are donated with food items, with money, with medical with drugs and medical equipment for Borno State. A lot of countries are trying much as possible. Iran, Saudi Arabia is also on the verge of sending something to Borno State government. So when you now have our first lady not prioritizing that one, I don't want to believe, because the Senator Oluremi Tinubu that I know very well, she loves empowerment. And in this kind of flood that happened, I know, I want to believe maybe there's something she's cooking. Maybe that one is just on top. But at this critical time, it's a misplaced priority.
Mr. Shokito.
Well, it's, first of all, I mean, our hearts will go out to all the people in the affected areas, who have suffered loss of life, loss of property, loss of livelihood. It's terrible. Seeing the videos of the flooding over the last couple of days has been a bit heart-wrenching for me. The sad part of it, just like Sadimiro said, is that it's avoidable. It's not a natural disaster. This has happened before, just 2 years ago. This exact same scenario, in fact, it was worse then, because that extended all the way down to Lokoja, and other parts of the country, because of the same dam or no dam, all that. And here we are, got a government who there are no consequences for this loss. In other parts of the world, that 2 years ago, somebody would have gone to jail for potentially for culpable homicide, for if you are negligent, there's something called criminal negligence. You are negligent in the performance of your duties, and as a result of your negligence, people die. You go to jail. But here, we gather around, we donate food, I saw a video of some guys from federal government, maybe emergency management authority or something, throwing bread
On top of those
to people trapped in their houses and people swimming in the flood waters. And it's heartbreaking that we are this insensitive to human suffering, and human life, human experience means absolutely nothing to our politicians. And it's that same mindset that would allow the First Lady of the country. First of all, I would rather that we don't even call her First Lady, because that office doesn't exist
in the Constitution.
in the Constitution. So the wife of the president, rather than showing the heart of a mother and being the voice for the voiceless in those places, to sensitize other politicians around her, mobilize and galvanize the national feelings of empathy towards those people.
Yeah.
She's designing Ashwebi. It's unthinkable. First of all, that idea in itself is useless.
Exactly. That's my point. What's even the point?
It's a ridiculous idea. I mean, you want us to wear Ashwebi as a symbol of national unity.
Which unity?
With the amount of suffering, with the amount of hardship, with the amount of death and maiming and destruction that is going around all over the country. Forget the flood is one thing. What about the bandits that are kidnapping and killing people daily? The country is in crisis, and yet this woman has the temerity and audacity to say that she traveled to one country somewhere, she saw that they had a national uniform for national unity, and then she feels that that is the next thing to do in Nigeria. It's just unfortunate, because as I speak now, I can guarantee you that there are people watching this and telling me, saying that I'm talking rubbish. This man, useless person, why are you saying this nonsense? Because they are government apologists and government supporters. Nigerians need to become outraged in unity. The unity we need now is a unity of outrage and unity of anger, so that we can call these politicians to order and let them stop insulting our intelligence, insulting and taking us for granted, taking us for right. These people don't rate us, they don't respect us. That's why the wife of the president would have the audacity to do this kind of thing, and nobody's calling out order. The president is not saying, madam, come, wait. How can he, when he himself just recently has been buying himself shiny toys, big Escalade, SUV, big plane, big yacht, so the wife too must follow the example. What women like to do is to do ashwebi. So if the husband is jollofing with big shiny toys, the woman too must do the things that women love to do, which is to share ashwebi. So I think it's quite sad. Kudos to the people that have been supporting, the victims of the flood. Peter Obi's and the articles. Opposition politicians who perhaps were also doing this for political mileage, but at least they are still doing something from their personal pocket. So we do have to commend them. They didn't really have to.
Yeah.
So I want to call on the president to just continue to remember, governance is about people. It's about people, it's about lives. And we're talking of real human lives. They're not numbers, they're not statistics. So the earlier our politicians understand and recognize this and act in accordance to that in all of their dealings with the public, I think the better, the quicker we would make progress as a country.
Before we go on that, it's just a scenario of a father and mother that they have a lot of children. Let's just say they have 8 children. And you see that all the children are hungry and they are clamoring that hunger wants to kill them. They are shouting. And the mother just come to the sitting room and ask the children, don't you see that this particular clothing is beautiful? Now brings a lot of different clothing. Guinea, different attires, Kampala, different ones. Now showing that, don't you see it's beautiful? I just bought it because I'll soon celebrate my birthday in months' time. How did you think those children, how are they going to react? How did they see their mother? Are they not going to see their mother as being, I don't want to use some, but one thing that is there is this. Because one thing there is this. There are some certain things that as a father, as a mother, when you see some certain things, you want to feel that I'm a father too, I'm a mother too.
Yeah. You should understand the pain.
If Mrs. Olurabi Tinubu is the wife of the president, because first lady is not even the governor, the first lady is not in the constitution. All what we are doing, we are not doing according to the rules. And you are mother of the nation. And your children are hungry. The only thing is to now have ashwebi. Who are those people that are going to buy it? Who are those people going to? Is it those people that are hungry, that are in poverty? Is it those people that cannot eat? Is it those people that the money they are collecting, even those people collecting salary, cannot take them home? Is it those people that can, just few days ago, we are sharing books to some certain kids. We're still going to do more. Could you believe that there are some, in the last 1 week, in Lagos here, that they ask their children to stay at home because they cannot afford to buy exercise books. They're going to public school. They cannot afford to buy exercise book. Is it talking about this kind of people? Those people that cannot eat? Is it talking about those people that eat grass in Jigawa State? They will go to farm, all those small grass, they will pack it together. It's what they are eating. Are you talking about those people that are eating, feeding for animals? Are we talking about, it is the same country or not another country? There is what we call eri, all those waste out of what they used to do akamu. That is meant for animals. Yeah. People are now cooking it and eating it. They are eating it. They are eating grass. The food that is meant for sheep, that is meant for cow, people are now eating it. Are we talking about the same set of people that want to put on that attire? Do you know how some certain hungry people talk about this country? The country of their birth, the country of their grandfathers? And they cannot boast as a citizen because they have nothing to show for it. Security they don't have. Food they don't have. Job they don't have. Healthcare facility they don't have. Schools that are affordable, they cannot afford to go to the hospital. They can't even live in a very decent environment. There are some certain people living in Lagos, they are living in Lagos truly, but when you go to the environment they live, you will cry for them. What is the wife of the president doing about that? What are galvanizing? Looking for how to gather resources for the women and the widow particularly in Borno State, even if not all the other states. At least those people that are victims as we speak. Has she visited the IDP camps that scatter all around in Maiduguri? There is no state capital in Nigeria that has the number of IDP camps more than Maiduguri. I visited all the IDP camps for months or some for years. And the wife of our president cannot give succor to those people. But attire of unity. When some people are eating, some people are hungry. Where is that unity?
In fact, from her statement, she said because of her last visit to Zimbabwe, that was 2023, she saw that they had the same initiative. She decided to bring it down. And according to her, the project is to support local textile industries, create jobs, and celebrate Nigeria's strength as one nation. My question is, how is this creating jobs? Well, anyways, we've said enough about that. For well and good. You probably think you're doing something right. Like you said, maybe she has a team that will still go. So let's just still keep our fingers crossed. But if it's just for this one and she's not reacting to anything about the flood, and like you said, there are IDP camps, there are a lot of things that she could actually, show forth and say, yes, I'm the wife of the president. But bringing out, even for me, even if I can afford it, it will never be part of my plan to actually get an attire when I know there are people who are starving, there are people who are suffering on the streets, and some person, like you said, don't have jobs. So that is not even the way to go. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. This is Falana actually stating that it is illegal for Nnpcl to fix price of Dangote petrol. I'll just read a short story. Now, the senior advocate of Nigeria and human rights activist Femi Falana has said it is illegal for the state oil company, which is Nnpcl, to determine price of petrol after deregulation. A statement which he said yesterday said the action of the Nnpcl violates Section 205 of the Petroleum Industry Act. Excuse me. He said that foreign exchange illiquidity has been a significant factor in influencing the fluctuations in price of petrol, governed by unrestrained market force as provided for in the Petroleum Industry Act. He explained that the Section 205 of the PIA, which established NNPC, stipulated that petrol prices were determined and should be determined by the free market force. According to him, the market has been deregulated, meaning that the petrol prices are now determined by market force rather than by the government or by NNPCL. Additionally, he said the exchange rate plays a significant role in influencing these prices. But contrary to the well-published statement that the NNPC has fixed the price of PMS produced by Dangote Refinery and Petrochemical Company Limited. The action of NNPC, according to him, is a violation, and definitely the prices should be determined by the market force. I want to ask Mr. Shupito, yes, actually, we all know it's supposed to be determined by the market force, but NNPC picking it up. Do you actually think Femi Falana is saying the right thing, and what is the way to go?
Well, there's the position of the law, and there is the social contract that the government has signed with the people. Femi Falana is correct, when he talks about what the section, whatever of the PIA talks about with regards to who is supposed to be responsible for fixing PMS prices in Nigeria. The challenge that I have with that, and I think that people don't understand this, we seem to have a bandwagon mentality for reacting to public issues when they come up, and without forcing to secure or gain a good understanding of those issues before you arrive at a position. So Mr. Falana is correct. The prices as far back as last year, May 29th, in accordance with what the federal government repeatedly told Nigerians, the petrol price fixing mechanism had been deregulated according to the federal government. So if you follow the letter of the law, Mr. Falana is correct. Prices shouldn't be fixed by NNPC anymore, shouldn't be fixed by any regulatory agency, should not be determined by the forces of demand and supply. But you and I know that is not what has been happening. The NNPC has been fixing prices. immediately after the president said subsidy was gone, the Nnpc issued a template and that contained the price that will be sold at the pumps of Nnpc stations and independent marketer stations. And that price took effect and was in force until about 3 or 4 months later, when the Nnpc again increased prices to 568 at their own stations and 605 at independent marketers, the IOCs, and the independent marketers, Ipman and the rest of them, they do whatever they want to do, And now, just as recently as last week, or when was it, the Nnpc still fixed prices. So I don't understand why, whether the Nnpc itself, the Nigerian midstream and downstream petroleum regulatory agency chairman also coming out to say they don't fix prices anymore, or even Mr. Falana saying that this thing should be market determined. But that's not what is happening. The Nnpc have been fixing prices, and I think that they will continue to do so because we really don't have the regulation, we don't have the liberalization. Now, here is the thing that I say Nigerians don't understand. My opinion, the Nnpc, please, they should continue fixing this price. Nigerians, you don't want market forces to determine price of petroleum. Nnpc should continue fixing it. So when I got the news that Nnpc will be the sole buyer of petrol from Dangote, I said, thumbs up, good idea. However, that is subject to only one thing. What is their motive for wanting to be the sole buyer? Is it because they are protecting some people's interests? Or is it because they feel the obligation of the social contract that the government has with the people to protect the people from market forces? Look, Dangote will not sell 1 drop of his PMS at a 1 cent below his cost plus profit markup. He's a businessman and he has invested billions of dollars that he must pay back, whether pay back to financiers or pay back to himself as an investment model. He must pay that money back. The money must be recovered. So he's not going to do this as a social contract. He's not Father Christmas. He's not, he's a businessman. The price of petrol in the market today is still below market forces. So if Dangote is left alone and allowed to fix prices, we will buy petrol at well over 1,000 naira per litre. The only way for that not to happen is for government to remember that it has a duty to protect the people, the social safety net, the social safety contract that it has with the people of its country, must be respected to the letter. Therefore, Nnpc should please go ahead and buy from Dangote and then provide subsidies, because Dangote will not subsidize anybody. So Nnpc should buy at whatever Dangote's market, cost plus profit margin will be, and then let them sell at the pump price at a price that will not kill Nigerians. As it stands already, I don't think we understand the implication of people having to buy petrol at 800 plus naira. 800 plus per litre. Think about the barber, think about the hairdresser, think about all of these people, bakers, that need petrol to power their generators, especially if you're not in Band-Aid. Even if you're in Band-Aid, the cost of the electricity is already punitive. So we can't leave these things to the market forces. Mr. Falana, thank you for fighting for us. Please, we don't need your help. Let Nnpc fix price. Let Nnpc fix price as long as Nnpc in that process subsidizes the price of PMS, which I think has to happen. If it doesn't happen, look, one of the reasons that everybody is talking like this now is that the price of crude has been falling. Crude oil, as of today, as of yesterday, was 71 naira for Brent, 78 for Bonny Light, which is our own, and then WTI is somewhere below 70 naira. If crude oil goes back to 80 naira, 84 naira, 85 naira, $90, the price of PMS in Nigeria will shoot to 1,002, 1,003, maybe 1,004. How can we free Nigerians, leave them to the forces of demand and supply when our salary, minimum wage, is far below anything that is obtainable in any country anywhere in the world where free market determines these things? Where poverty, is 133 million people who are living on less than $2 a day, where even the so-called middle class, they cannot send their children to school anymore because of cost. And we now say we will leave this thing to market forces, and that's why Nnpcl should stay off. Nnpcl cannot stay off. Nnpcl should continue to buy this thing and fix prices that will protect the Nigerian people. So, Mr. Fallon, thank you, sir. You are correct legally, but socially, please leave us an Nnpcl. Let them buy and sell at mark prices that will
not kill Nigerians. Okay.
Well, for me, Mr. Jopiton said that in clear mind. But Nnpcl has another mind, though.
Maybe.
They have another mind. Those people that did not have refinery, that is taking our crude away to go and refine outside, and they only return PMS. What of others? Are they those ones that we are going to believe? My own is this. Section 205, very clear. But majority of government agency, government tiers of government, they don't follow law. That's why when you even charge them to court, to even get your damages from them is always very difficult. My own is this. Nnpcl should be ashamed of themselves. If our 4 refineries belonging to this country is working, if Dangote wants, he should go and have 2 or 3 refineries now and sell it anyhow he wants to sell it. So far, our 4 refineries are working. Yoruba used to say, ara ayé tí ò dá, ló jẹ́ ká máa rántí ara ọ̀run tó ṣe dáadáa. It's because we are short of good people. That is why we always make recourse to those people that have died. Awolowo, want to say something? Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa. It's because we don't have enough good person at hand now. Now, what is important here is this. Nnpcl should work and make other refineries of government work and go and be fixing pricing for those ones. But for this, I think what the government wants to do, government in this is Nnpcl, because to me, all those ones that we normally say it still belongs to the government, is that they want to continue to cover what they've been covering. We've said it over time. Anybody that wants to agree with us should agree. Anybody that wants to have freedom not to agree, we are still paying subsidy. In order to continue that, if they don't subsidize Dangote's oil, we are going to buy it at the higher price. So for them to cover that, and that's why they want to be major marketer buying from Dangote. But my own stake is this. Let your own refinery work. If your 4 refineries are working, Dangote can sell. It's not become a market. So far, you are sharing majority of the market. But with the situation that we have now, we depend solely on Dangote refinery. What we've asked this government to do from last year, May 29, is what they want to be doing it. But I just pray they should do it. They won't tell us the amount they are buying it from Dangote, but they will subsidize this to those marketers, sub-marketers they want to sell it to.
But they said they bought from Dangote for $8.98.
Yeah, because that one said the one that he has imported. What is important to us is not even how much they bought it from Dangote. They should be saying that one to the book. The amount that every Nigerian is going to be buying this is very important for us. And we want it to be lower than 800.
He said 950. They said
no, we want to be buying it lower than 800. We don't want to know how much they bought it. After all, they've been paying subsidy secretly and we don't know. So, whatever they want to do to Dangote, their agreement, we don't want to know. They should be saying that one to National Assembly. But they should be able to make sure that at least we buy this for less than 500 naira. Look, just like Mr. Jopiton said, if pump price gets to 1,000, 1,002, what it means is this. All the budget that this government said they are budgeting, they will not achieve even 5%. That is what it means. That means there will be more people in the unemployment market. What it means is that they are already killing SME now. They will continue to kill them. Middle class does not exist in Nigeria. It's either you are rich
or you are poor.
Or you are poor. Then another thing again is this. That means in the market, foodstuff will continue to high. 3, there are a lot of people that will not be able to. You know that people now resort to go to church and mosques for their health challenges than going to the hospital. It will continue. Then another one again is this. We said some people are eating dirt, they are eating what is meant for sheep and whatever. It will continue. How did you want the president of this country to feel if almost 85% of his citizens cannot eat, cannot afford to eat, cannot afford to go to hospital, cannot afford to go to school? Do you know how federal government owned institutions now are so expensive? Not talk less of states. In fact, I was going to say Lagos State has increased it. No, that one, you know, 35 to 100. I've said this. In fact, I said it on Saturday. Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, that boarding house fee. Look, I believe there is no rich person that will send his kids to public school, talk less of in the boarding house. They are struggling Nigerians, moving it from 35,000 naira to 100,000. Whoever bring that suggestion is the enemy of the governor and is the enemy of the Lagos resident. 35,000 naira to 100,000 naira. But what is that different from taking my kids to private school? How much are they paying for the increment is over 100%. Now, what is now mean is that the civil servants that have not collected the 70,000 minimum wage, they are still the one that are taking their kids here. The Yalata and Yelepo, they are still the one taking their kids here. How did you want them to survive? What it means is that there are a lot of students that will not return to school. Don't let us deceive ourselves. 100,000 naira. Part-time, not per session. No. Exactly. That's the point. Part-time. Part-time. That means in a year, in a session, that is 300,000 for boarding house alone. That's too much. That's outrageous. And we are complaining. 70,000 naira. None of you have even started paying it. Apart from Edo, because we need to be fair. Apart from Edo, and that one has been paid even before your negotiation. But what is important here is that, are we going to continue like this? What are we going to benefit as a Nigerian? What are you going to benefit that, oh, I'm a citizen of this country? What am I benefiting? No security? No good economy? I cannot thrive on anything? Even if you go and take loan now, you want to kill yourself. Because the one that Mr. Sopiton and his people, they always rate interest rates all the time like this. If you go and take a loan to do business, before you start that business, another interest rate has come. We need to talk at this particular time. I want you to even say something about the Lagos State increment.
I didn't know, Mr.
I don't know.
I always put it raising of interest rates is not the way forward.
At all.
Never been and can never be. So the Lagos State thing is quite sad, you know. Lagos State is a very interesting story. You know, it's a tale of two cities. It's incredible, you know, where you go to some parts of Lagos and you see supposed development and massive infrastructure investments and all that, and you're thinking, look, this is good. But all you have to do is just scratch 1 centimeter below the surface of all of that, and then you will see the rot. One of the problems that I've always had with Lagos State, from the days of this current president, and you can still see him, you know, going about things in the same manner, to the days of Fashola, and now Sanwo-Olu and everybody else in between, is that they implement policies in a very heartless manner. They don't think about the impact of those policies on ordinary people. You know, how can you raise boarding fees from 35,000 to 100,000 just like that at once? Where would the money come from? Where? So what the governor may not realize is that what he's doing is that he is encouraging, in fact, he's enjoining, in fact, he's forcing his workforce to be corrupt. Because they will have to find the money. At the end of the day, this fight that they are fighting, unless they go about it the right way, maybe they go and employ Falana to act for them pro bono. Yeah. You can't win government. You can't win the battle. You can't fight the might of the government and come out victorious unless you go to court and they are well represented.
Well represented, yes.
And they are not doing that. So at the end of the day, they will pay this fees.
And some of them even said they've even paid.
Some have even paid through the holiday.
Yes, they paid.
Now ask them to come and
add again.
You add the difference. So you are impoverishing the people. You are encouraging them and pushing them out, to the streets in quotes to find a way to fend for themselves. And I think that the government needs to be more sensitive about the plight of the human being under his domain as possible. This is. I don't think we need to over-labor it. This is not good enough. Government, whether at the state level, subnational, or whether at the federal level, they just have to be more sensitive. They need to understand that governance is about the people. These people just seem to have forgotten it. They forget that it's lives that they are dealing with, and every pronouncement that they make, every time someone opens his mouth and says one word, those words will reverberate and affect real human lives. 22 million of them under his jurisdiction. So I think they need to act a bit more responsibly, a bit more sensitive with the policy formulation. Whatever their good intentions might be, it's all rubbish if it makes the lives of the people more difficult.
Very true. I hope he actually listens and do what is actually right, because for me, I don't even have anyone actually going to that school, but it's outrageous. 180% increment. No, that's way too much. Okay, because our time is already fast spent, I just want to say this one, so we'll have a quick reaction, is that JAMB actually limits physical interactions with applicants. Of course, according to them, as part of measures to prevent extortion and enhance service delivery, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board says it has concluded arrangement to fully automate its service to reduce physical contact with candidates. The JAMB registrar, Professor Oloyede, said that this had become important given that many of the candidates who take the UTME are underage, and this was noted in their bulletin signed by the correspondent on Monday. He quoted explaining that limiting the physical contact will address issues of extortion and exploitation. He said that given that many of the candidates who are underage, the board is considering limiting the physical contact with those with challenges to avoid any alleged extortion and exploitation. Of course, he stated that in due course, interactions will be limited to online ones with calls recorded for effective monitoring and quality control. Meanwhile, he commended the staff of the board for their honesty and diligence. Well, this is quite good, but I don't know. I kind of still have a problem with that. But do you think this is a good way to just put everything online to reduce interactions?
The first thing there is this. Professor Izehak Oloyede is one of the blessings that God has given to this country in the educational sector. It's one of the blessings. When he was the vice chancellor of Unilorin, he was the one that started digital exams for post-UTME. He started it. And since when he became the registrar and chief executive officer of JAMB, the man has changed a lot of things. We don't even know that Nigeria can be getting money. Truth, although I have reservation on that, but at least it's generating money. Now, what he wants to do to make sure that when you want to sit for UTME, you don't need to go to anywhere. I think I'm in support of that. But you should consider the kind of structure we have for telecommunication in Nigeria, so that the guy will not be writing an exam and the network will go.
Exactly, that was what I was coming to.
But there is a way that I think they can also do it. If we are not using a mobile phone that is internet enabled, maybe through one way or the other, they should find way around it. That even if you have tunnel survey, you know what they call tunnel survey? That is not internet enabled, like just one like this. The only best thing that is inside that phone is that you want to call, you want to receive message and touchlight. So if that one can also work with that, so they said that even if I'm in the village, I can do my exam without even, because a lot of middlemen, centers, they are really making on all these applicants. So, but the professor should be able to look at our structure in telecommunication. You can call somebody and you're going to be hearing yourself. If it is during exam, how are you going to do it? Some of us we do Zoom meetings. If you don't go and get a dedicated internet modem or whatever, it's going to be very difficult. So I want us to, but it is important at this particular time, somebody should be able to sit down and do UTMA without going anywhere. I support it, but our structure in telecommunication is another thing.
Our time is already up, but let me quickly get your.
It's something that is already happening, even in this country. If you want to sit for SAT,
Yes.
just go to testing center, CAT, computer testing, and you sit down. And my daughter did it, So why not? Look, kudos to Professor. I'm very proud of him because my alma mater. The best university in Nigeria today, among the public ones. Because of the work that he did there. This is a fantastic idea. I think we should just push it through, make the fail-safe arrangements to ensure that technology
is in place.
Infrastructure failures don't affect it, and we should be good to go.
Okay, thank you very much. Our time is already far up. Thank you so much, Nuri, for
coming. To get your ownership.
I'm not buying, obviously. I don't even want to go.
Bring it to somebody like us.
Thank you so much, Shego, for coming on the show. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Please, for those that wants to buy the Ashebe, if you buy, you can actually bring to Galaxy TV. I'm also interested, but I'm not buying. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Enjoy your day. Bye for now.